right. So, what time is it right now?
It is 6 in the morning. Damn near.
Yeah. Have you been asleep yet?
No. I
And
told
neither
you I
have
slept.
I.
I slept for like an hour at 8 o'clock last night. That's about it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I.
Jackie and Z get no sleep. Jackie and Z
Yeah.
don't know how to sleep.
Yeah, no. This is why we're here. Red light, late night. It's a little
Late
bit of
night
a tongue
red light.
twister.
Red light
Yeah.
after party. Red light no sleep sounds like a creepypasta. Red light
It
no sleep
does.
sounds like a Reddit thread where they're talking about where the best prostitutes are.
But yeah, while you were doing your thing earlier, uh, we were playing games. We cut out for a while to chill and do other stuff.
Yeah.
And I got a very like cryptic Snapchat from my buddy, the one I'm going to try and get on here as a guest.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to be okay. I'm just going through some relationship and other struggles right now, but it'd be all right.
That's not okay.
Yeah, and I was just like, bro, do you want to talk? Like, you good? He
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm good. I know that sounded cryptic, but I'm good. And I was
That's
like, bro, don't
worse.
make me drive. It's like, don't make me drive to Chattanooga right now.
That's worse than the one I sent you.
Yeah.
That's worse than
Yeah.
just, hey, you're a good friend and I appreciate it. That is like
Yeah.
he's on the bridge and he's hearing the void and he's about to
I
jump.
honestly, the picture looked like he had his head on the steering wheel of his truck. And I was just like,
What are you doing?
I was like, don't make me track you down.
That seems like, and I'm not trying to disrespect your friend. That seems real dramatic.
Well,
Like, I'm sure he's going through a rough time. I'm not trying to downplay that, but that is real dramatic.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. This man, he's trying to figure out himself right now.
Like all of us.
Yeah, and he's having a real rough time at it. He like dropped out of college for a while. He moved back in with his parents, and then he went back to college up where they live.
Right.
And he's like working a part-time job at a really good burger place that we also have in Murfreesboro. And I say we like I'm in Murfreesboro, but it's a good place down in Murfreesboro, and cool place. He's got some degenerate friends that he hangs out with, and I'm not like dogging on his friends or anything. I say degenerate friends, but like, I mean, one of them is in a grunge rock band, and I believe
degenerate.
Yeah, he got him into some stuff that he's hopefully going to drop at some point. But I mean, I'm not going to judge his lifestyle. But,
what store is it? I'll drive by there one time and say, "You fucking loser, you degenerate."
Hey, look, they serve some really good burgers, and they have a long list of beer. So,
see, I'm not a beer guy.
I wasn't either, but you really have to find something that you like. And what me and my buddy did here, it is a quest. I have an app called like Beer Quest or something, or Untapped, I think it's what it's called. And it's specifically for like beers you've tried and how you rate them and everything. But like, I definitely did not consider myself a beer guy, especially when I like started drinking. I was always a dark liquor kind of dude. And I remember we called it Bible study.
That's fucked up.
Uh-huh. And it
was getting fucked up.
Yeah. It's a band party over here at college. And I say band party, it's a girl I knew who was in the band hosted those parties. They were called Bible studies. And they would get a keg of something, a couple kegs of whatever. And it was specifically the Halloween party, which had its own host of issues. And there was this dude. Yeah, it was a costume party. This guy dressed up as an Irishman. I guess.
How do
He
you
only
dress
ever
up as
talked
an
in,
Irishman?
I don't know. I would say leprechaun, but dude was like 6'2".
You can't be a leprechaun if you're 6'2", dog.
Exactly. But he had an Irish accent that was not his actual accent. And he
How
talked in
good
that the
was it?
entire party. It was very stereotypical.
Okay.
I'm not going to try and
That's a
recreate
good
it because
way
I
of
just
saying
couldn't.
fucking terrible.
Yeah. Like, you gotta find the right beer.
Oh my god.
He's like, you gotta find
Where's
the
my
beer
pint
that's
of
meant for you.
Guinness?
Yeah, that
If
kind
you had a
of
chance
shit.
to change your fate. Oh, that's Scottish. Great movie.
But he
And
was
I
just
think
like,
a
you
lot
gotta
of Irish
find.
people will stab me if I say like, oh yeah, I know an Irish accent. If you had a chance to change your fate. What the fuck was that? What was that? Good chance. Into the chopper. Oh, now we're going Yoda? You had a chance to change your fate, you do.
Change your fate, you must.
I told you,
But,
not to go too much away from your story. I told you I'm rewatching Star Wars Timeline,
yeah.
and Yoda popped up, and I've been getting back into doing a Yoda impression, and I find it absolutely hilarious. His laugh is hard to do, though. It's like, please, I am. Something like that.
But yeah, back to beer though. I really want beer. I haven't had some beer in a while, but
the closest I ever got to enjoying a beer was a Bud Light Lime. That's the closest I've ever gotten.
really, not even. I didn't bring Smirnoff. So I brought you Crown.
So I like Smirnoff, but Smirnoff is not beer.
It's a malt liquor.
Well,
I consider them bitch beers.
No. The beer you brought me is because you almost threw up drinking it, and then I almost threw up drinking it.
That was when I was
Hershey's
at Amazon.
chocolate shit?
That Hershey's chocolate porter. Yeah.
So I
still don't like those. Or that one specifically.
My father-in-law, unfortunate father-in-law, brought me a 24-pack of Budweiser when I asked for something to drink, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had Blue Moon, and it was disgusting. I've had... What else have I had? I've had PBR, and it was disgusting. I've had...
Sorry, I took
Jaeger.
offense to that.
Jaeger isn't beer, is it? Jägermeister?
No, Jaeger's not beer. It's not beer.
I've had a couple more to where I'm just like, you know what? If I want an alcoholic beverage from the gas station, a lot of places, or at least the place I know that's right there, sells the Jack Daniel's cocktails. And I'm like, I'll just grab that and have a good night.
Yeah. I would grab my phone, but it's across the room right now, and I'm not gonna want to get up for it. But I've had quite a few different types of beers. For one, kind of disappointed you said PBR sucks.
It's just because I guess my grandfather told me it's an acquired taste. He said the first time he ever had beer, he went to a bar and his buddy's got a pint. And his first drink, he was like, that sucks. Second drink, he was like, it sucks a little less. And by like the fifth drink, he was like, all right. Now, it could be because he was, wasted by that point. But
yeah, that's exactly what it was.
But,
I've had several. I'm not going to try and name all the beers that I've had, but of my favorites would probably be it was like Stardust or something. I forget what it was a cider.
That sounds like the street name for some kind of drug that sends you
cocaine
to the moon. It sounds like cocaine, but sweeter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I've had like
sounds
that.
Like something Starfire would give you to make you fall in love with her.
And I'd take it all day. Anyways.
Oh my god, dude. Are you still thinking about Loba? I'm still thinking about Loba.
I'm thinking about Watson too.
A little bit Watson. Have you seen? I gotta start sending you TikToks. I saw this guy. He was using a sound where he was like, when you're tied up in a room with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and Batman comes to save you, and you see him look at the wall that Batman just burst through, and the song was, "Don't save me, I don't want to be saved. Don't save me.
And I wholeheartedly agree.
Wholeheartedly. Ivy is going to
Yeah.
burn me, and Harley Quinn is going to do despicable things to me, and I will love
And I
every
will
second.
sit there and enjoy it.
Oh, but honestly, and I don't want to turn this into halfway locker room talking, because we're going to talk about masculinity in the future, and that's a whole topic about it. But how'd you feel about Rhea Ripley? Genuinely.
Rhea Ripley?
Yes. The girl I sent you on Snapchat. The first one.
The first one?
Yes.
She could get it.
Yes. Dude, she could tie me to a chair and milk me dry.
That is like
me. I'll be okay.
Prime definition of muscle mommy, bro.
Absolutely. And I don't want to get too weird on here, but my
I'm not going to try
God,
and get
is
too
she
weird.
fine. She is fine. I am a loyal man.
I'm single. I'm ready. Come at me.
I think I joked with you one time. I went to TSU when I was door dashing. TSU has the finest women in the state of Tennessee.
Good old HBCUs. Gotta love them.
Dude, I made this delivery, and I think I either called you or I sent you a Snapchat, and all I said was, Z, I'm a loyal man, and it will stay that way.
I remember that.
And we just sit back and snap of you laughing as hard as possibly could. Oh, man.
Did I tell you I got a knife pulled on me at TSU? When I was like 13? It doesn't
surprise me, but you haven't. I have a vague memory of you telling me this story, but I don't remember.
My mom is an alumni. She didn't graduate from that school. She will graduate from I forgot the community college in Smyrna. What is it?
Motlow?
Motlow, yeah. She will graduate from Motlow, or she already has at this point. She just has to walk the stage in a couple months. But she went to TSU, and she's like a proud alumni of that school. So when I was 12 or 13, I was with my stepdad at the time, her, and we went to a tailgate before their homecoming game.
There you go. It's homecoming. You don't go to TSU. Yeah. For anybody who ever thinks about coming to Tennessee,
really bad wreck that day.
It's just bad luck all around. But anybody, I must warn you, if you are visiting Tennessee at all and someone says, hey, let's go to TCU homecoming, don't go. Don't go. Every single year, and it doesn't miss, at least one person gets shot. At least one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't ever go.
So yeah, I was 12, 13 with my mom's stepdad at the time and his mom. And we're talking to some people that they knew. And they're like, yeah, go ahead and grab some food. I was like, cool. And I was like, I told my mom, because I was a shy 13-year-old. So I was like, can I get something to drink? And she was like, yeah, go grab something. So I reach in there, go grab a Sprite. Dude turns around, what you getting into? Let me pull up some evidence. Let's use this knife. He goes, what you getting into? And I was like, my fault. My bad. My fault.
Yo, that just, you made it seem like it's some kind of cartoon where you just back out, just flicking the fingers up.
I immediately turned around.
I'm sorry.
I immediately turned around, walked back to my mom, and said, "Nah, I ain't thirsty no more." She's like, "What happened?" I said, "You ain't see that shit? Like, motherfucker just pulled a knife out."
My mom, I'm not trying to get stuck trying to get a Sprite. I'm just not. That doesn't sound like a good day to me.
No. And eventually they're like, "Oh, you can grab something," and I was like, "All right."
Can someone come with me? I'm scared. Go get it yourself.
Right.
No.
And then, of course, when we were leaving, heading back to my stepdad's mom's house later on that night, drunk drivers from a college football game, and pulled out of it. The scene looked so wild. Okay, so I figure somebody was driving the wrong way down the road. Turns out, no, they were coming the opposite direction and speeding with their lights off, and a car pulled out of a Walmart parking lot, I believe, either Walmart or Walgreens or something like that.
Yeah.
And they got spun around into us by the drunk drivers. And my mom was the first person to see it. She wasn't even driving. She was in the back seat with me.
Mm.
And all I felt was her reach over, yank me back, and then the car hit right at my side door, and I was just like, "Oh."
You know, I believe
safe to say, the doors couldn't open, so I had to climb out to the other side.
I
And I
believe in
shit
good karma.
green that night.
Jesus, I believe in good karma. So every time I see a car that's on the road, like whining or just busted up, or I see one that's on the truck, I used to like make a joke about it or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I look at Fantasia, or she looks at me. I swear to God, I got to stop saying her real name on the podcast. Or she looks at me and she's like, I hope they're okay. I hope you're doing well. I'll look at the car next to me that's whining with no front bumper and no blinkers. And I'll be like, hey, it's getting you there. It's getting you there. That's what matters.
Coming from my previous job at FedEx, I've learned how to drive shitty vehicles. And it's not fun most of the time, but it gets the job done, I guess.
You know, those big FedEx trucks, you're telling me they're not built for performance?
No.
You're telling me you wouldn't. Why don't? And this is actually a good idea. Everybody's talking FedEx, UPS, regular mail service. How about we just get the trucks, we go out to a drag strip, and let's see who's the fastest. You know what I mean?
Well, the issue there is every single one of those vehicles is governed one way or another. Most of the trucks with my previous contractor were governed at 65. Some were governed at 75, and I think we had one shitty little van that was governed at like 90.
The shitty little van. That's not a shitty little van. That's the little van.
Oh, it was a shitty little van. Look, that van. Okay, the last time I drove that van was probably 3 weeks ago. That van has had so many issues with it that I was like, why don't they just give up? It was called Peekaboo.
Why is it called Peekaboo?
It had a name. It had the most vision out of all the vans, for one. Like, usually the vans, they have, of course, the front two mirrors, they have the side one, and then they have a back. Usually there's like a grate or something, so you can't really see out the back window.
Right.
Peekaboo had all of that, and then it had windows along the sides as well.
Right.
So that's why they called her Peekaboo. But Peekaboo had been with that company since 2008, I think. So
2008, that's an old ass truck or van.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the longest,
what, 14 years?
Yep. And for the longest, that's not 14 years. It's
16 years. 2024, 2008.
16 years, yeah. That van, for the longest, if you started it up, you'd have to slam the gas to keep it going, just so it could warm up for a second. Because if you didn't, it would fizzle out. Yeah. Like, have you seen the TikToks of, like, the car that was running at 14 RPM?
No.
It was... Ka-choo. 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 Like that. Except for this one, once it got below 500, it just shut off.
Nice.
And now they had it fixed for a short while until now. Yeah. When you let off the gas and, put it in park, put it in brake, it'll just rev up. It's about 4K.
That's not good. That's not safe.
I had to drive that one day when I had to run a half route because I had class later on that day, and that was the only vehicle available.
That reminds me of that TikTok sound that goes around every now and then, where it's like, this baby's got 3 speeds: here, there, and
There,
gone.
gone. Yes, sir. And that was the
Especially,
van. Peekaboo was the van that was. I guess she wasn't governed. No, she was definitely governed. It was like 90 because I remember going down the mountain from Spencer, and then realizing, hey, I'm going 90. I should probably slow down.
well, here's the thing. That's your little secret weapon for winning against these UPS wannabes and these USPS wannabes. Oh, they bring out their little truck. We got Peekaboo, motherfucker.
Yeah, I guess. Well, no. USPS uses some of their own vehicles. Like they buy vehicles from people.
Yeah, but they got trucks. I'm talking trucks.
Really good
branded trucks.
Branded trucks. If anybody would win, could probably
USPS
be us because we have
losing.
some that are governed at 75.
Yeah, USPS is losing. Those things are slow as shit.
UPS is also losing because they're a lot more strict on their governed services, especially since it's all corporate for them.
So FedEx is like, fuck it. We like speed.
A contractor could totally say fuck it and not govern their trucks.
I want to see this happen so bad. And I want to see like a little surprise entrance. You hear ice cream truck music and an ice cream truck pulls up.
Oh, and then a surprise entrance from the Altima gang.
Oh my God. And we got this Altima. It's only the frame and 3 tires, but it's going to do it.
It's going to do it.
It looks like
the little Nissan that could.
Come on, Altima, you can do it. And it just dies immediately.
Have you watched 10 feet down the line and smokes out?
Have you watched? Yeah, immediately takes off and like 10 clouds, just a mist forms in the entire. It's like, that's not. I think it's gonna die. And it just immediately swerves off into the crowd. No, have you ever watched Street Outlaws?
Yeah.
You remember Farm Truck?
I remember the sleeper truck.
Well, it was called Farm Truck, unless you were watching a totally different version.
I might have been watching a totally different, yeah.
Well, Farm Truck.
This one was a lot of sleepers.
Farm Truck I loved because he would just go across the country and he would challenge guys with like brand new Mustangs.
Oh no, we watched the same show. It was the same show. Yeah. They had like they had a supercharged V8 in it or something.
Something like that. And it was just so funny to see like, hey, you want to race? And they're like, yeah, what's the catch? None, just Farm Truck. We like racing. And just smokes this new Mustang, just buries him, and just leaves with $5,000 before anyone can question it. It was so funny to watch.
I remember that was my favorite truck, actually.
Definitely. Because it was
like,
old,
there's no way he just pulled on a Lambo.
Yeah, if y'all have ever seen Street Outlaws or if you've never seen it, it was literally like this old, rusted, beat up Ford. Beater. It was like an 80s Ford F-150. It was beat to shit, but if you popped open that hood, oh my God.
You might let a little loose there.
Yeah. And the whole point of the show is to have a top 10. These are the top 10 street racers in the country.
Yep.
And Farm Truck can never compete with those guys, but he eventually became the entry fee. If you want to challenge for a top 10 spot, you need to beat Farm Truck first.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, oh yeah, an old farm truck? We got this. No, you don't.
No, you were sorely mistaken. You just got gapped.
Like we said, that truck got 3 speeds. Here, there, and gone.
I saw that original clip finally.
I've never seen the original clip.
The original clip shows what is it? It's like an old Civic or something with some big ass tires.
I was watching, or I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I was listening to a Small Town Murder. I'm not into true crime stuff as much anymore, but Small Town Murder was doing an episode where these 2 old people went missing, and out of their home, a VCR 3 paper clips and like a loaf of bread were stolen. It was like weird, outlandish stuff like that.
How did they track the paper clips?
Well, in one of the go in the office, paper clips, whatever. But one of the guys made a joke about it, and he was like, "I got a VCR, a couple paper clips, and a loaf of bread. I don't know what I'm gonna make, but what I know is it's gonna be fast as shit."
I've seen the do it yourself like flow chart, and it was like, does it move? Should it? Duct tape. Does it move? Should it? WD-40.
WD-40 flex tape.
Yep.
I was just like, that's gonna be...
damn, that's so true. I mean, I've got JB Weld on my radiator right now.
Well, you know,
that I'm still gonna have to replace.
I don't know how many empty bottles of WD-40 I've found in my grandfather's truck.
I've got 3 sitting in the cabinet here right now, and I've had to use them a couple times, and not on my car, surprisingly. Baby. It is. I had to use it on my my old vent in my room because it was rusted all to hell, and I was trying to close it, and I was eventually just like, "Fuck it, I'll buy a new vent."
Well, it's like, you know, in Resident Evil, how he pours that goop on him, and then all of a sudden his hand is put back together. It's like that for cars.
Pretty much.
I'm sure.
At Lowe's, we used WD-40 lithium to grease the forks on the forklift.
By the way, have you ever seen that stuff they slap on the backs of tractor trailers, semi-trucks?
Oh, the grease? Lard?
Yeah.
I had to mess with that in metal smithing.
We were driving on the interstate, and he had like a lot of it smeared on that horseshoe. I call it a horseshoe because it looks like a horseshoe. Yep. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to rub that in? She was like, I think so. No?
Nah. Just sits on top. Fair. You just sort of slather it, and you're good for a minute.
It looks delicious. It looks
Something's wrong with you. No, it does not.
It looks delicious, dude.
That shit is like yellow brown, super thick, and sticks to you while also being greasy.
Like some caramel peanut butter, dude. Slap that on some toast, I'd bite into it.
If it was more of a solid color, maybe. But that's like semi-translucent at this point, and it just like looks like rotten peanut butter.
Well, I get what you're saying, but I think that comes from you. I've never used it, right? It's like we talked about me caulking the bathroom a couple weeks ago. I don't think that stuff looks appetizing, but that's because I used it on my bathtub and I got it on my fingers, and I'm like, this isn't it. But since I haven't used that stuff, I'm like, dude, I'd pour that on some ice cream.
I'll ship a tub of lard to your house. I got you.
Beans, bacon. Have you seen Atlantis?
No.
That old animated movie where the dude, big ass glasses, falls in love with this Atlantis chick.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, well, the chef is putting all the food in the cabin. She walks up to the chef and she's like, the crew needs the 4 basic food groups. He's like, I got you 4 food groups right here. Beans, bacon, whiskey, and lard. I'm like, fair. You got that? You got the protein?
Yeah.
You got the beans? Alcohol, I'm sure, is healthy.
Proteins, lentils, alcohol. It'll be will kill all the bacteria, I guess.
Lard?
The alcohol.
Oh, the alcohol, yeah. Sure. Plus, if you get a little injury, just, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Are you a rom-com guy?
Sometimes.
Me, the lady really likes watching rom-coms with me now. We've watched 3 together. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Legally Blonde. You seen Legally Blonde?
I have.
What made her fall in love with watching rom-coms with me is in Legally Blonde, she gets called Pookie Bear by the man that left her for another woman and whatever.
Yeah.
And she sees him at the college and she's like, "Oh, hey, like I'm going here now and whatever." And then another girl comes up and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Pookie Bear," to the other girl. And me and her in sync went, "No." And ever since then, she wants to watch
did
rom-coms
not.
with me. Today we watched Failure to Launch, that Matthew McConaughey movie.
Okay.
I got to see Terry Bradshaw's ass way too much.
I just binged. I watched 4.5 movies the other day. Sunday. And I stuck to the action genre this time. So I watched Sniper Ultimate Kill, Equalizer 3.
That sounds like a horrible movie.
It really wasn't that good. I watched Gran Turismo, which
I heard that's a great movie.
It's cheesy. It's really cheesy. It's like generic in a feeling,
right.
But it's a good movie. And then
that's
I watched
the one with David Harbour in it, right? The guy in Stranger Things.
Yeah. And then I watched Shazam, the second one.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, I couldn't finish it.
I heard that was one of the most disappointing movies because the original Shazam is one of the best DC movies, in my opinion.
I would say
I mean, the bar isn't high, but
yeah, the best DC movie I would probably I'd have a set of DC movies and it'd be the Arkham trilogy, Batman.
I want to talk about this new DC. I guess they were calling it the EU. Nothing has touched the Dark Knight. But when it comes to what they were trying to build with the Justice League, the two best movies were Wonder Woman, the first one, and Shazam.
I don't know if I really liked Man of Steel. First Shazam very much. And
I really like Man of Steel,
Man of Steel
was
all right.
Yeah, we disagree because I'm a lot higher on the Man of Steel than you were.
Yeah.
I wish Ben Affleck got his own Batman movie. I'm so upset that he didn't.
He probably needed it to make Man of Steel better, to be honest.
This
if it had something to go along with it.
This might be an entire topic because we could legitimately make an entire episode out of who is the best Batman of all time. Because honestly, in my opinion, if Ben Affleck got his own movie, he'd be considered the best Batman. Batman and Bruce Wayne.
I'm going to pull up all the Batmans or live action Batmans.
Val Kilmer.
To see what my ranking would be.
Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Robert Pattinson, Ben Affleck, and I might be missing one.
How many live-action Batmans were there? Oh my gosh!
So you had Batman 1985, you had Batman and Robin, Batman Forever,
Keanu Reeves.
You had the Dark Knight trilogy, you had the DCEU Batman, and now you have the new Batman.
Keanu Reeves played Batman in Super Pets 2022.
Well, that was an animated film, wasn't it?
I believe so. I looked up live action specifically.
No one. I think we can both agree, though. No one animated. No one is ever touching Kevin Conroy, ever.
True.
I love. Did you see Batman: The Long Halloween?
Yes.
Jensen Ackles voiced Batman in there, and I think he did a good job. It's still not close to Kevin Conroy.
True. But I definitely put Michael Keaton up there. George Clooney, I put him up there too.
Val Kilmer was underrated. Sure. I really liked Val Kilmer's version of Batman. It just wasn't a great movie.
Yeah, Ben Affleck played Bruce Wayne pretty well.
And Batman. Except his Batman killed because Zack Snyder had a thing for not paying attention to source material.
That's why I said... that's specifically why I said Bruce Wayne. And Robert Pattinson, I'd probably put him up there when it comes to like how I think of Batman.
Yeah. I know we had a discussion about his Bruce Wayne because I understand that his Bruce Wayne is supposed to be early Bruce Wayne, hasn't figured out his persona yet. So I have confidence that he's going to get there in the next coming movies. But right now, I'm not putting him up there just because his Bruce Wayne was not great.
But his Batman was fantastic, though.
His Batman was phenomenal. I think, honestly, he's the best Batman out of all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vengeance.
His Bruce Wayne kind of, I've said this multiple times, I will keep saying it. His Bruce Wayne was kind of just like an emo boy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, okay, we get it. Your parents died. Yeah.
I will
sure,
say
it's a traumatic event.
Yeah. But I will say, though, I loved that movie, right?
I loved the movie, too.
I didn't like how he learned to fight from Alfred, not the League of Assassins. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll introduce the League of Assassins later. I didn't like how they faked out killing Alfred. I think that was just cheap, right? Honestly, the best part of that movie, in my opinion, was the Penguin.
I've seen that movie 3 times.
So good.
The first time, like, they, spoiler alert, killed off Alfred, I was like, oh, he's not dead. Couldn't be.
Yeah, there was no way they were killing Alfred.
Yeah. So I immediately knew, okay, he's not dead. He's probably just going to be in a hospital. And lo and behold.
Yeah.
There he is, in a hospital, alive and awake.
And he is such a piece of shit to Alfred in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is. I believe
and I get
there
he's
is
the movie, whatever, but he is supposed to see Alfred as the father figure, the father he never had. And he was such a piece of shit to him.
Yeah. He kind of made being an asshole his personality, which doesn't really work out for him.
Well, let me say some positives, because I've been saying a lot of negatives. I say I love this movie. I love the design of the Batmobile. God, it was such a sexy design.
Oh, that Batmobile was sexy.
That reveal where you just see the headlights and the smoke and the rev of the engine. I was like, I think they nailed Gotham. While I have my problems with how Alfred was treated in the movie, I loved that dude's portrayal of Alfred. What's his name? It's like Andy something, right? Andy Serkis, something like that.
I can't remember. Probably.
But yeah, the action was phenomenal. The Penguin was great. The guy who played the mob boss was great.
The action was phenomenal.
That first scene where he beats up that gang that was jumping the dude.
Yeah. The other scene where he's fighting in a hallway?
Yeah, and the gunfire's lighting him up or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that the first time, got a little chubbed up. But, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I saw this on TikTok, and I'm so tired. Did you see Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League?
Yeah, that's my favorite version of Justice League. I still don't like the movie, though.
I think that's everybody's. But they really still try to say, oh yeah, Jared Leto's Joker wasn't that bad. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. I watched the scene where people were like, this scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League saved Jared Leto's Joker. And I was like, no, it didn't. He is still.
I hate to say it, Jared Leto should not have been Joker.
No.
I believe the actor that played Joker in Joker, he did a really good portrayal of Joker coming to being Joker.
We'll talk about that in a second. But the video I saw was the 3 laughs: Heath Ledger, Jared Leto, and Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, and he was like, who has the best laugh, right? Joaquin Phoenix had like this insane, it was the bus scene where he's laughing on the bus.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger is my favorite, obviously.
Mine
but Jared Leto's what the fuck is that? That's not even in the same universe, dude.
Yep. I just can't wait for another Batman movie to come out, because I'm honestly looking forward to it.
When they did you see the scene where it teased the Joker, where Batman talks to the Joker? Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I really don't.
I hope they do something good, and I hope it's not Jared Leto. That's all I'm saying.
I hope it's not Jared Leto, but from like the images you saw of him, I really hope they don't do that. because I know it's
Like,
supposed to be another ultra realistic portrayal, and this is what would actually happen if he got dipped in acid and he was all. I get that, but
if anything, they should bring out Joaquin Phoenix, in my opinion.
see my problem with Joaquin Phoenix. People have this criticism, and I kind of agree with the Joker movie. It's a phenomenal movie. It's a
Yeah.
phenomenal movie about a dude who's being mistreated by society because he clearly is crazy and he's being taken advantage of and he's being shit on. I never saw him as the Clown Prince of Crime. Like, ever.
I don't
Like,
see him as like the
Joker,
Clown Prince of Crime, but it's more of a I'm going to let all this happen and even play into it.
well, see, my thing is with the Joker, he's fucking insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's also extremely intelligent, right?
Yeah.
And it's just Joaquin Phoenix's Joker just came off as insane and falling into every, like, yeah, he had the plan of killing himself on the show, right?
Yeah.
I hope me saying that doesn't get this taken down from YouTube. Like, he had that plan, but I guess I kind of wish it would have showed how intelligent Joker really is and not just like, oh, he's this psychopath. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And in my opinion, it's more so like, let's say Heath Ledger's Joker. He was a smart guy. He was definitely a smart guy. He was crazy, and he knew what he was doing. But it was to the point of insanity where he did whatever he had to do to fuck with Batman to try and prove him wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Joaquin Phoenix would have done. So I mean, he had that obsession with that talk show host, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went onto the show with the plans of, doing the self, get rid of himself.
Yeah.
And eventually he was just like, no, you're the one that's going to die.
You get what you deserve.
Yeah. And I feel like if he were to turn that on to Batman, he would, have that unhealthy obsession and do whatever he could to mess with Batman. It's almost like to the point of insanity where he'll have the ideas, the intellect required to do what he would do as like what Heath Ledger did.
I can see where you're going, but also you got to remember he was invited on that talk show. He didn't like set up some elaborate plan to get this talk show host, into this weird game or whatever. He was invited on the talk show and he was just like, oh, when I go there, I'm going to kill myself. And then he went there and was like, actually, like you said, you get what you deserve. Smack shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If I remember correctly, there was a couple scenes or so leading up to him being invited onto that show, which got him to pique the interest of the host for him to be invited.
Yeah, it was his stand-up routine where he was the only one laughing and the rest of the crowd was completely silent.
Yeah.
And they brought him on there to make fun of him.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I guess I still can't get over. We were watching 10 Things I Hate About You. And Heath Ledger's in that. And it's a young Heath Ledger. The movie was made in 1999. Or 97. It was released in 99. And it was a rom-com. And every time he went up to the girl, I would just lean over to my wife and just be like, my father was a drinker.
My father
just grabs her and be like, you want to know how I got these scars?
I think Joaquin Phoenix could pull off a good Joker, like an actual Joker instead of, him being himself.
No, I think he could,
character.
But that I don't think the frame of the movie really set that character up to be that as well as it could have.
I think it did. I mean, that scene, not so well, but like everything before, well, I guess it would have to be a prequel or something unless they break out of jail, but.
Well, also he's what? he looks almost 50 years old. And I don't want to do like the ageist thing, but it's like Robert Pattinson is supposed to be like a 20-year-old Batman, and he looks like a 20-year-old Batman.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is supposed to be, okay, this is the Joker before he meets Batman, and we see Bruce Wayne in that movie, and he's like 6 years old. So there's a good, at least like 15 years before he becomes Batman. So by the time he's Batman, this Joker is going to be in a wheelchair.
I mean,
know
yeah,
how I
it's
got
completely
these
possible.
scars. I didn't take my medication today.
I mean, it's completely possible. But, I mean, I feel if they do have Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, he wouldn't have the scars just like they did with Jared Leto. Jared?
Well, that was a joke. I know.
I mean, yeah.
I don't think there's any other iteration of Joker that is like, you want to know I got these scars? I'm going to kill you. What would I do without you? Have you seen the College Humor Badman skits?
Yes, I've seen a couple.
Do you remember when they recreate the Joker interrogation scene and they put the wrong clown in there with Batman?
Yep.
Yeah, they walk in and his evening commissioner. He's like, wait a minute. Where's Wiggles? Batman punches his hand. He's like, who punches a hand?
I do want to watch the Dark Knight trilogy again.
All three of them are on Max. I've only seen the Dark Knight all the way through. I haven't seen the other two all the way through.
I've seen all of them.
I saw Batman Begins up until Ra's al Ghul invaded Gotham. And I've seen The Dark Knight Rises, I think just like up until the point where he breaks Batman's back. I won't break you. That sounded like a sad Bane.
Yeah.
Oh, you
know what's fucked up is that entire time somehow Bane just escaped my mind that he was in that movie, and it was
he's the main
all about Bane.
Well, he's kind of the main villain, right? It's
he's
really
one of the main
Talia.
villains, yes, he's one of the main villains. But
no,
for
I know
some
he's
reason,
one of the main villains. But it's like you also got Talia al Ghul in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess Harvey's dead in that.
Yeah. But like every time I see like a clip of the movie, I'm just like, man, I can't wait for this movie. Wait, this movie's already been out. Like every time.
I love Tom Hardy so much, but it's hilarious to see that.
I'm Batman.
I was born in the dark. Why am I making that? I was born in the darkness, Batman. Making it fucking Kermit the Frog.
All right, Kermit.
I will break you, Bat. Now I'm making it Yoda. How many voices am I going through now? Break you, I will.
What's next, Toad?
Citizens of Gotham. It's so fucking stupid. Now I want to see Yoda
Sun's coming
in
up.
so many other movies right now. You want to know how we got these scars? Father, drinker he was.
He's not Yoda, he's Yoder.
He's Yoder? Yoder? Evening, darling.
When he breaks out the song and dance.
Southern Yoda. Y'all better not come around here.
Come around here, you shall not.
Come around here, you shall not. Back from where you came. Now it's turning back into Kermit because of that Family Guy clip. Kermit being racist. You know where town is? Yeah, it's back the way you came.
Oh, man. I don't know where this started.
You said what?
I don't know where this started.
It started because I tried to do a Bane impression and decided to make my voice bouncy for whatever reason.
Bane had a wild voice.
You know, have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
It's so amazing to see Tom Hardy go from like a Bane character to an Alfie character. Do you remember Alfie?
Alfie
I was
from
like from Peaky Blinders.
sorry, I immediately thought Alfalfa.
Yeah, Alfalfa from Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I know
Thomas,
Alfie, yeah.
Thomas Shelby runs up on him. And he's like, "You are so beautiful."
Beautiful to me.
What is
Can't
this?
you see?
Did you see? Dude, I don't know about you. I always hated the Little Rascals growing up.
Really?
I hated that
I
movie.
love the Little Rascals.
Dude, every time, the only scene me and my brother would recreate because we thought it was so stupid was, I got two pickles, I got two pickles, I got two pickles.
Hey, hey. I got $1. I got $1. I got $1. Hey. That scene was fantastic.
The only scene I liked was the racing scene, and that's because only I liked cars growing up.
Say, I'm gonna make you a little cardboard car.
My mom knew I liked cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at like 4 years old, I got to watch Bad Boys 2.
Okay.
And do you remember the opening of Bad Boys 2?
Yeah.
It's the guy overdosing in the club.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is he doing? Is he trying to swim? What's going on? I was 4 years old. I was like, and they dragged him out and threw him in the dumpster. I was like, you could
I never watched Bad Boys until I was competent enough to actually consume the content.
See, my mom let me watch it because of the scene where they're chasing the Haitians on that semi where all the cars are being thrown at. Yeah, I loved that scene because I liked cars so much. So my mom was like, yeah, he can watch the whole movie. You know, he can watch Will Smith fuck a therapist. Where she went, whoops.
Yeah, Bad Boys 2 is where she got decapitated, right? Rush Hour. That was Rush Hour.
I was like, okay, maybe.
That was Rush Hour.
Dude, I
that was
love
definitely
Rush Hour. I love Rush Hour so much. Yeah. Dude, the clip goes around a couple times where the girl takes off her wig. He's like, oh, she's a man. I went to second base with a damn Frenchman. I caught her. Oh,
man,
no.
Chris Rock was fantastic.
That was not Chris Rock.
That was
Chris Tucker.
Let me just leave the room.
It's fine.
Yeah, every black person's the same, you know.
I was about to say, thank God I didn't say that. Wow, Jack. What'd you do in here?
I forgot Chris Rock, comedian.
But no, I rewatched the first one, and when they get surrounded, and he's like, all right, and he gets punched that way, and he's so quick that he just turns back and goes, which one of y'all hit me?
Yep.
God, I love those movies so much. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Man, I need to go back and watch Rush Hour. All of them are on Max too.
I think my roommate has Max. So I might just yoink his account for a while.
Oh, I was going to tell you, by the way, when you were talking about getting, stuck up at 13 at TSU. You ever heard about the wrestler New Jack?
Yeah.
You have? What have you heard about him?
I think I watched him wrestle. I haven't heard anything about him, but
in person?
No.
Okay.
I had been to a WWE event in person, but that was at the Bridgestone.
Well, he was never in WWE.
John Cena.
He was never in WWE. Oh, you saw him? Actually? Really?
Yeah.
How'd you see John Cena?
At Bridgestone.
Well, you can't see him.
I'm leaving again.
Anyways, New Jack, and this is why WWE has never touched him. A couple instances like this, but I'm going to tell you about one.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to be wrestling with this guy in some ballroom in a hotel, right?
Yeah.
And he was like 15 years into the business at this point.
I do not know New Jack.
He was like 15 years into the business at this point.
Yeah.
And this guy was a new wrestler, right? And the guy started getting rough with him. trying to get in a bunch of moves on New Jack. And one thing New Jack does not like, he does not like to be fucked with. So you see him on the ropes.
Like a man that didn't want to be fucked with.
Oh no, you see him on the ropes, right? And he used to snort a bunch of fucking cocaine before he'd go out there. But you see him on the ropes, and the guy's like hugging him and punching his ribs and whatever. And he reaches in his pocket. People are like, what is he doing? Pulls out an 8-inch knife. It just starts stabbing the guy in the neck over and over and over and over again. And the crowd goes like, what is going on? Because they don't know if it's part of the show or not. Well, he gets arrested, obviously. The guy goes to the hospital, obviously. 8 inches of blade. That's a lot of blade.
That's a lot of blade.
That's a lot of blade. But
I'd say 8 inches is in the uncomfortable range, if you ask me.
A bit. Just a wee bit. But the funniest part about this, and the most screwed up, New Jack is an insane psychopath. Shouldn't be revered, but he's fucking hilarious, okay?
Did he always have the eyebrow piercings?
No. If you ever see New Jack, well, he's dead now. But if you ever see a picture of him, he's got so many scars right here from forks and staples and stuff.
I was just looking up pictures and oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was sitting in prison for this, right? And the wrestler he stabbed visited him and he said, hey, I'll drop the charges. No problem. But you are going to train me and we're going to tour Florida because this happened in Florida, obviously. We're going to tour Florida and we're going to make this a whole angle. Oh, you stabbed me and whatever, right? And New Jack was like, bet, just drop the charges. And the guy was like, cool. Drop the charges. New Jack gets let out of prison, takes off, never sees the guy again. Just never sees him again. He's like, thank you, fucktard.
I feel like at that point, he's just kind of shit on himself for that one. The guy that let him out.
Dumb. He's dumb for trusting New Jack. Yeah, I'm going to trust the guy who just stabbed me 8 times because he was pissed off at me. Oh, another thing he says is apparently news outlets were like, oh, he stabbed him 12 times. And Jack was like, no, I stabbed him 8.
Get it right.
I counted 8 times.
Dude, he went for it. He was hardcore.
Yeah, I hate hardcore wrestling so much. That's a whole lore dump. One of the iceberg topics that we talked about.
Oh.
Because hardcore wrestling is so stupid. I told my lady about one match where it's a death match with fluorescent light tubes. And she was like, aren't those toxic? I said,
very much so.
They just smack each other with it. Just wail on each other, throw each other into them.
There was the one WWE guy that was hardcore.
Mick Foley? Bigger guy, beard, long curly hair.
Yeah.
Came out like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mick Foley.
Dude said, yeah, I'm going to jump. They're like, don't jump. He's like, I'm going to do it. And he jumped. Don't know how that guy survived all the shit he did.
New Jack had a guy up in the rafters, right? And he was like, all right, they talked about this. Rafters. It was, why did I say rafters? It was like up a couple stories in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan was he was going to tackle him and they were going to jump off through a table, get the pin that way, right?
Yeah.
They talked about this before. And they were up there and he was like, all right, I think dude's name was Tony. He was like, all right, Tony, we're going to jump on 3, all right? And the guy was like, Jack, I can't do it. He was like, motherfucker, you said you were going to do it. There's no backing out now. We got to jump. So we're jumping on 3. He was like, okay, Jack, I got it. He said, all right, 1, 2. And you see Jack jump and hold his arms. Guy doesn't jump. What happens is Jack's weight obviously carries him down and dude lands on Jack's head. Immediately blood and different fluids out the nose, out his eye sockets, out his ears. His skull was fractured. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. But he got payback, and I guess I'm telling you this story now. It's much less graphic, okay?
Okay.
Just to make you a little less uncomfortable. Just think about Loba, all right?
Easy. I'm good now.
Just like, I'm good now.
Yeah.
They had a match to where they were up in the air like 20 feet, and you lost the match when you got thrown off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And New Jack went around the locker room, and this was months after it happened because obviously he needs to recover.
Yeah.
And New Jack got a taser. A real taser. Okay. Didn't tell anyone. And they were up there, and he just starts tasing the dude, right? And you see the dude go and fall to the ground. And he says, Jack, I can't feel my legs. And Jack looks at him and goes, you aren't going to need them. Grabs him, just tosses him off, right? Here's the thing. He landed in the ring, okay? But he bounced off the ring apron into the ring. And if he fell on that floor, he would have, at the very least, been paralyzed for the rest of his life. And someone asked Jack, it's like, what happened out there? He's like, I was trying to fucking kill him. I was trying to throw him out of the ring. But he didn't get enough.
Jeez.
But again, he's a psychopath. But just the sentence of like, Jack, I can't feel my legs. You ain't going to need them.
That's wild. That's
My God.
so wild.
Could you imagine being in a fight with someone, being like, all right, you're done. I can't feel my legs. And he just goes, you aren't going to need them. Could you imagine that?
I'd probably shit myself. Real shit. Like, I can't feel my legs. Already terrified. Right there. That's step number one. Already fucking terrified. If a motherfucker says you aren't going to need them, I want to suddenly start feeling my legs and start fucking running.
I'm gonna start swinging. With everything I got because I don't know what he's about to do to me. These friends were wrestling for a YouTube video, and dude grabs him, and they're in a hold, and the guy told after that he whispered into his ear. His friend whispered into his ear and said, "Good game," and picked his ass up and body slammed him. And I was like, how disrespected do you feel after you just got laid out and right before dude just goes, good job, good game.
No, I saw something on TikTok earlier or during that little break we had, and it was two dudes playing golf. And it was a Snapchat recording, and it said, these guys were best friends, and they were sitting there duking it out on the golf course. One dude got laid out. The other dude walked over, kicked him in his chest, and then slapped like a glove or towel in his face and walked away.
Over golf, y'all?
Yeah.
Come on. It's the gentleman's sport. What are we doing throwing hands on a golf course?
Right?
That's the most white trash story I've ever heard. Hey, you remember when me and Uncle Billy went out on the golf course, drunk as shit, just started throwing hands?
My buddy my other buddy who I want to get on this podcast, this dude, he went to the golf course one day. He's a big golfer. He went to the golf course one day, and his buddies just kept bringing him shooter after shooter of Fireball.
Oh my God.
Safe to say he did not drive away from that golf course.
I hear getting drunk playing golf is a good time.
I hear that too, yeah.
Dude, I wish I could find this TikTok again, but one of the funniest TikToks I've ever seen was these two guys drunk in a golf cart, and they're like, oh, like unintelligible, and then they turn, and their buddy is just standing, hand on his hip, facing away from them, and you just hear the guy go, oh, look at this son of a bitch, oh yeah, look, and They hit him, and you just hear him go, "Oh God!" And he falls, and they just start laughing so hard. I just look at this asshole.
You seen the dude get shinned by a golf club?
Oh, no.
Let me tell you, I felt the pain.
Oh, dude, I saw.
I can't remember what he said when he got hit, but it was the most white dad thing to say. It was like, when they say that, it hurt like a bitch.
I saw this kid who took his Razor scooter, and we all did this, but he was twirling it real fast, and and you heard it just connect with bone, and the video just ended. But I was like,
yeah. Just
like we all no, we all know that feeling, especially growing up down here of hitting your shin on a trailer hitch.
Oh yeah. I've done that more of the times than I'm proud to say.
Yo, we had this metal bed frame, and we're going past an hour. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm cool.
I figured we'd just go until we both start getting real tired.
Yeah.
But I run out of storage, whichever happens first.
Got 160 hours, so
we had this metal bed frame in there, and for the first couple weeks, I would get up and she would just hear my toe connect with the corner, and she would hear me go. I shouldn't scream that loud. It's early in the morning, but she'd be like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I just want to go to the bathroom."
So I have a metal bed frame now, and when I first got it, it was a struggle for my toes. It's a real struggle for my toes because there's a post right in the center on the edge. So I'm like making my bed or something, or I'm getting up and I'm just like throwing all my shit on my bed to get ready for the day, and I'll take a step, hit it, promise to work my toe like 4 times because I stepped like fucking kind of shit. Like, it was bad.
Yeah.
I've also hit this door right here. I've hit my toe on that so many times.
I got lucky. I've never had a surgery ever. The closest I ever got was my tooth up here. I used to have, right? Because I had an extra tooth right there that they had to take out. But I busted my nose pretty good one time. You ever play wall ball growing up?
Yeah.
I think we all played wall ball. It's a simple game. Grab a tennis ball, throw it at a wall.
Yep.
Well, my brothers and I decided to play that with a baseball. Okay? To this day, this dude swears to God that he was just trying to throw a curveball, right? Now, what I saw was he was facing this way, and he turned and just right at my face. And I turned, and it just right there fell to the ground. And I heard this lady come up and say, like, "Are you okay?" And I was on the ground. She couldn't see me. I was just like,
ouch.
Went over, didn't have to have surgery. But a couple months later, we were chilling in my room, a couple of buddies, and one of them like pushed me and fell on me, and I felt my nose go. And I was like, looked at him, I was like, "I think you fixed my nose, brother."
I can breathe now.
I can breathe again.
We played it sometimes with the softball.
That's almost worse.
And I can say I didn't get hit in the face with it.
Thank God, dude.
Not much better where I did get hit.
Don't tell me.
Go ahead, take a guess.
My God. Ow. I don't want to guess.
You ever hit the dry heave because it hurt so hard? Yeah.
What is the worst I've ever been hit right there? What is the worst?
I've been full-blown kicked.
I got my buddy good. Me and him, as guys do, we find it funny to sack tap each other, right? I had a
The
buddy. Yeah, one of his favorite games was, hey, what's the capital of India? Bangkok. Right? That dumb shit. Well, he was walking. We were walking out of PE. This dude was walking. I was like, he's off guard. I got him. One of the most athletic things I've ever done in my life. I run up next to him. It was Jordan Turley, if you remember his stories about the hanger in the parking lot and the girl bending over, him saying that shit's been hit so many times it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Him. I jumped up, turned, and just and he fell to his knee. I ran off, and then I didn't see him, so I walked back, and he was still on his knee. And I was like, I need to go. It's not safe for me around these parts right now.
He needs about a 3-day cooldown period.
Oh, man. I know it's going to come at any point. I'm going to be going to the bathroom. I'm just going to hear, payback, motherfucker.
Yep. We used to we did like hamburger and hot dog. Hamburger, you'd scoop the fuck out their chin. Hot dog, straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got so many people with that I was terrified.
That is embarrassing for our body types, dude. Embarrassing. My buddy used to do.
I was a much bigger kid than I am now, so
my buddy used to do. Oh my god!
Yeah,
my buddy used to do 2 scoops and a pinch of nuts.
Ooh,
2 scoops, scoop your titties, pinch of nuts. He'd reach down and just.
All right.
Yeah. Man, it was real gay back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, thinking back on it now. Yeah.
What is guys' obsessions in their teen years with just hitting each other in the dick?
Pain is funny.
Putting your friends in pain is funny?
I guess.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't really understand why I did it either, but it was funny.
I guess I got karma back from that. So I had this buddy, and we were walking. You said your school was built like mine, right? Like Siegel?
Exactly the same, yes.
Did it have 2 floors?
Yes. 2 floors, like 3 wings and a courtyard.
Yeah. So we were walking to the stairwell. And right next to the stairwell, there were 2 vending machines. One for drinks, one for snacks.
Y'all had vending machines. We did too.
We were walking to the stairwell. This dude just, real quick, right? Just a quick slap.
Mm-hmm.
I fell to my knee, and I was breathing like really heavy. And I was so pissed off. And I think the day was just going bad in general. Mm-hmm. And I was down there for a minute, and it got to a point where he grabbed me. He was like, all right, Aaron, we got to like get up. We got to go. And I stood up and I went, and I punched this vending machine with everything I had. And it went, and I walked upstairs, and he was like, hopefully no administrator comes and talks to you, Chief.
Hopefully and no one nobody saw that.
They probably saw that, and they were like, I think he needs to cool off. So
come back 2 days later. So what happened the other day?
I didn't break the thing. Oh my god, dude. I promise. Wait, I'll stop talking. All right. I got another story about me being put on suicide watch, but I hate taking up most of the conversation.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of a funny story, okay? It's not some sad stuff that I usually come with.
It's not.
So,
thank you for being a great friend.
It's not, I'm going to be okay. I'm just going through relationship stuff.
Yeah.
You know Dead Poets Society, right? Have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Okay. Do you care if I spoil any of the movie?
Go for it.
Okay. It's been out for almost 30 years. I just got to make sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's one of the characters is named Neil, right? And he really wants to do theater, but his parents want him to be a lawyer. And because of that pressure, and because his parents put their foot down and don't let him do theater, he checks out early, his own hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched this in my creative writing class, and a joke went around the entire classroom of like, oh, we should do this as like a play. Wouldn't that be fun? Miss Gardner was her name. And I was like, yeah, that would be fun. And everything went silent. I just went, I got dibs on being Neil. My buddies started laughing. The class started laughing. My teacher was not laughing. The next day, I get pulled out of my class by my guidance counselor, and she's like, is everything okay? Is everything going good at home? And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. She's like, well, one of your teachers, I'm not going to say who, is a little worried about you. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm cool. Went back, sat down. I was like, who could have?
No, I've been pulled aside a couple times, not for Suicide Watch, but one was a false accusation. I won't really get into that one. The other one was a sort of a misconstrued situation that I was in. So I don't know if I've told this story on the pod before, but I was in a digital arts and design class at Siegel. Mm-hmm. Favorite teacher of all time. Died due to COVID. Rest in peace, Picklesheimer. Yes, sir. And I had a deal with him where, me being a band kid, I was a dual pathway student. So I had music and fine arts. And I was like, me being a band kid, I want to take third lunch so I can eat with all my band kid friends. He's like, right. Cool. You know, we can work through second lunch. You got it. I was like, bet. That class was mostly self-guided. He would like give us a project and we'd work on it. So as long as I, worked on the project, I'd be cool. And one day they all go to lunch. Second lunch is what that lunch period was for them. And, I'm sitting there working on a project. I try scooting my chair over. Something's blocking me. Look down. See, it's one of my friend's backpacks. She was also a band kid, but she didn't care about eating with the rest of them. So I moved her backpack. And, I go back to working. And the next class period, I get pulled out of class by the SROs. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll come with you. I didn't do anything, so I'm not worried. They're like, yeah, grab all your stuff too. And I was like, am I getting expelled for something? Right. And, they're like, we got to search you because one of your classmates is missing some money. And I was like, that's fine because I'm broke. And, they pull through, search me and everything. I pull out my wallet. I show them that I have like no money in there. And they're patting me down and they find my vape. And I was just like, fuck.
Damn.
I started vaping like super early. Don't get into it, people. It's an addictive habit. But I was like, They're like, you know what? Since you've been so cool with us, here, don't bring it back. And I was like, will fucking do.
And of course you didn't, but it was a nice gesture.
Of course, yeah. Of course, I never brought it back to school ever again.
No.
And I get to talking to her, the girl who eventually lost the money. She lost $200 that day. We found out who it was. It was the band kid that kept getting kicked out of school, going to not Smyrna West, but the Murfreesboro version of that.
Yeah.
And it was like, that makes sense. Dude got kicked out, came back, and then he couldn't even like march. So he always stood on the sidelines when we were in competitions. Kind of felt bad for him because it was between him or another shitty marcher. And eventually he was the one to get it the most. The other kid, that other kid, I won't say his name out of respect for him because I don't know what he's doing now. That motherfucker got caught jerking off in middle school in class, and he just happened to be in my section.
That's disgusting.
We heard about the kid like a month or two before actually meeting him, and we were like, hopefully he doesn't come to band because we don't need any of that around here. Oh, he sure did. And he was still weird.
How to ruin your reputation in a couple days, couple seconds, actually.
Yeah.
I don't feel like being that vulnerable on this podcast yet. Maybe once we'll tell one of our most embarrassing stories, because I got one, and it's a doozy.
I don't think mine's something any normal kid wouldn't go through if they're, being a kid and thinking they're sneaky. So,
all right, we're on the rambling session. I'll be a little bit vulnerable here.
All right.
I got jerked off in the cafeteria.
Really? Did you get caught?
Mm-hmm. Not by teachers. I got filmed, though.
Ooh.
Yeah, that film went quick across school. Quick. You know what sucks about it is
why would you do that?
I was a dumbass. I was with this chick, and this chick is an entire story. If we want to talk about shitty relationships, I need to vent about that chick. But to give you an impression of what this chick did, I was a fuck up, right? I'm not going to go too hard on myself. I was a weird fuck up, and I've made that pretty clear on my TikToks, on this podcast, on everything. But we went to the movie theater with her parents. It was me and her parents, right?
Uh-huh.
And she started jerking me off in the movie theater, right next to her parents. Right?
All right.
Dude, the amount of embarrassment I felt when I looked up and saw eyes all over me. But I was like 14, dude. I was like, I'm getting a hand job. It doesn't matter. Yeah, man. God, you wonder why I want to you wonder why if I went back in time and found my high school self that I'd take him in the back and old yeller his ass? My God, dude.
The story that came to the top of my head, I also got caught jerking off, but it was at home and by my stepdad when I thought I was alone in the bathroom. I was alone in the bathroom, but he kind of just waltzed in and was like, oh, and closed the door.
Oh, by the way, you remember when my uncle came in the other day when we were gaming? Yeah. He said he'd check out this podcast. If you want to stop here, stop here. Don't tell nobody, right? But you never done it publicly? You never just gone out publicly with a lady? No?
Nah.
Why not?
Okay, with my ex, there was talks of like in a car, but we never actually got to that point.
Lame.
Plus, her parents, for the entirety of the almost 2 years we were dating, her parents did not know. For some reason, she would not tell them. And I say for some reason, it was just a bad relationship looking back on it.
All right, Z's camera got disconnected. So this is a good place to end it. Probably the universe telling us, hey, you're going a bit wild with the conversation. And you should probably go get some sleep.
Yeah.
We might talk about that embarrassing stuff. We might have a whole episode dedicated to escapades in the spicy manner. But we appreciate y'all. We wanted to upload a random sesh because it's late at night. We were not tired, or I guess it's early in the morning, and we weren't tired.
Yeah, it's now 7:20 a.m. So
yeah, so we thought, we'll upload just a Ramble episode. And we might do this often because me and Z don't sleep. So
yeah, sleep is not very much in my repertoire right now. So
you'll still get a normal episode on Monday. Probably going to be film, might be masculinity. Still yet to decide. Go to the description. Follow all of us everywhere. I'm Jackie. That's my boy Z. We'll see y'all on Monday.
We out here. Peace out.